Hey everyone, today we're going to be reviewing the RaceBox. We did receive this at no charge to review, but you're still going to get our honest review. The unit came in a nice little box. You can see you have the unit itself. It's a fairly small box that has a lot of features, and you can see it's not too big. And in the back, you can see you have the USB-C connection, you have the GoPro-like suction mount, and the connection for the external antenna. Put that off to the side. And then we have this little USB-C adapter. You insert it into the RaceBox, and I'll show you how it connects to the supplied charger cable. You go ahead and you just put it in there, and that's always going to be inserted into the unit, so that way you don't have to deal with any plugging and disconnecting. This is the suction cup that they included, and it appears like it would have a good amount of suction. The RaceBox isn't super heavy and will be mounted inside, so it looks to be good enough for the weight. Then you have the USB charge cable. And I was actually extremely surprised to see how it connected. You have your USB-A side, which can connect to your car's USB charging ports. Then you have the other part that's magnetized to connect to the RaceBox. I'm glad it has this because it helps with making sure that the USB-C port doesn't break from plugging it in repeatedly. It also has the right amount of tension before it disconnects. Finally, we have the external antenna in case you need a better signal to run outside the car. It's just a matter of screwing it on and then taping it to the outside of the car. But again, it's a very small package and very easy to do, just like you would on those old TV antennas that you plug in. And there's your double-sided tape. And that's pretty much what you get in the box. When you grab the unit, you'll see you have 4 buttons. Left side buttons are to navigate up and down the menus. The top right button is to power off and go back in the menu, and bottom right is to power on and to activate the selected option. We'll go ahead and power it on. It's a fairly bright screen, and you can see it's pretty good. Obviously with capturing screens on camera, it's a little bit difficult, but overall, even with the reflection of my light, it was very easy to see clearly. You can see pressing the left buttons move the selection up and down, and just want to go ahead and check the brightness, and it is at 100%. Then we can go back. Again, these are like back and forth. We're gonna go to wireless, and I've already paired it with my phone. You literally connect your phone to the wireless network it displays, and you're set to use the app. I used their YouTube video to connect my phone, but it's so simple that it's pretty intuitive, and I didn't really need to use it. I guess I was expecting it to be a little bit more difficult, but it really wasn't. But I'll still include the link in the video at the bottom in case you do need it. I was checking out the track manager, and it has the option to load them onto the RaceBox from their database. With us being in Austin, we of course added Circuit of the Americas, which I had loaded up earlier. There are going to be more features planned for the app. The great thing about the unit itself is that it is standalone, and you don't really need anything other than the unit itself. Now let's go back, and we're gonna go into the drag meter section. And you can see here that you have the options of doing speed, distance, or you can actually customize it yourself. You can also when you go into custom, you can set your intervals. You can set what the custom intervals are and have a mix of speed and distance. Now with the screen mode, you have the option of normal or predictive. Predictive mode is really good. After you run an initial run, it will use an algorithm to predict whether you're improving or doing worse on your second run or lap. We're gonna go ahead and mount the suction cup, and if you've done GoPros, this will be super easy. Even if you haven't, it's really easy. It's just a matter of matching up the holes so that you can go ahead and put the screw in. Now in this recording, I kind of messed up and put the nut part facing up, but you're gonna want to put it on the bottom in case you need to make adjustments when you mount it. It's gonna be easier to reach under than over and have a windshield limiting access. But again, it's just a simple screw on, and yeah, when I got into the car, I realized that, and it was really easy to just, move that, unscrew that, and then just flip it, and no issues. We were good to go after that. And the suction mount is, again, fairly strong. Now, another thing I wanted to show you is that it has an accelerometer with the option to calibrate it. Once you mount it on your windshield, you'll want to calibrate it and adjust the mounting to provide an accurate reading. This magnet is just fun to play with. If you were to run everything connected, the antenna and the power supply, this is what you get. Now I'll show you how easy it is to mount to one car, but we're actually gonna go ahead and test it on a different car. And that's really it. Not much to it, and again, paired with the app, there's definitely a lot of great things for this. One of my favorite things about the RaceBox is it lets you really take it out of one car, put it into another, set it up extremely easy, and start logging some numbers. This probably took me less time than it's gonna take me to actually finish a quarter mile, or much less a lap. But we'll go ahead and get this started and go log some more numbers. With having the RaceBox in all these different cars that we test drive, it made it really the easy choice. We didn't have to deal with like double-sided sticky tape to put on our window of a car that's not even ours. So when we saw the RaceBox had the suction cup, it was great. Having that and being able to literally just unhook it just like you would a GoPro, grab it and put it in another car. So that versatility was huge, and we wanted to have that. And like I said, again, we didn't have to deal with double-sided sticky tape. The other thing as well is we have camera gear. We have camera gear when we film, and we have this camera here, and we have GoPro, and we have a lot of things to set up when we do our reviews. So the fact that we had this on its own, and we just literally suction cup it to the windshield, and we're good to go because it's a standalone unit. So you don't have to fiddle with, hey, is my app running? Is, are they connected together? You don't have to deal with that yet. You can because it does have Wi-Fi integration. So you can actually plug it in and you are able to communicate with the unit. But like I said, when I'm dealing with all these different cameras and I have to add another component to it, I didn't want, I wanted less setup, the better. And that's what this has. The RaceBox is definitely can do that. Now, another great thing about this is it has different telemetry types. It has drag race mode as well as your track mode. So it lets you have that versatility in one single unit. You don't have to get one app, to do one thing, get another device to do another. It has those lap times available, lap times and drag racing capability together, which is great. All in one package. Again, less to deal with, the better. Now, another thing that's great is that if the the GPS that's built in isn't good enough, which we've tested it and it's not. It's actually pretty accurate. You still have the, like I showed you, the antenna that you can, you know, that's going to be a little bit more hardwired. Again, you have to deal, that is going to be a little bit different. But with what we've dealt with and where we've tested it, it hasn't needed that. So it's been great on its own. Definitely would recommend it if you can. Obviously, if it's only one vehicle that you use, a race car, that you obviously don't mind running the cable and as well as having that antenna stuck on as well. So you have that function as well to give you, like I said, a better accuracy. Another thing that I loved is the screen. It is so bright. It is super bright here today in Austin. You know, we are literally 97 degrees and it's gonna get hotter. So the sun is bright. There's really there's clouds, but none of them appear to be, you know, on the sun to cover and make shade. But the screen is nice and bright. Even when the sun is hitting it, you are able to visually see it, which is great. You definitely want to have that because, again, when you're dealing with you know, being out on the track, you want to be able, if you want to visually see it, again, that's a great thing about this, is you have a screen to work with. A lot of these other apps are phone dependent, and yeah, you can suction your phone up, but a lot of times it's not as bright as this unit. And the text can be small as well. So with this, it's definitely gonna give you a brighter look to your screen, as opposed to an iPhone or an Android or whatever you know, device that you use for your telemetry. But this is definitely a very bright screen. Probably one of my favorite things is the predictive mode. So the predictive mode uses an algorithm based on a couple of runs that you make, and it's going to basically predict what the next one will be based on your, you know, your next lap or even the drag strip. So it does give you that option as well. It's not just limited to, okay, you're gonna do a great lap, but also how's your quarter mile gonna be? How's your 0 to 60? You know, all that telemetry. So definitely a great function. And the build, it's really strong. Like it's a plastic, but it's really on. It's really thick and sturdy plastic. So definitely excited for it. So let's turn it on. Let's see what we can do in this Alfa Romeo Stelvia 2.0 turbo. Now what's great about this, another thing as well, is you can actually label what cars you were using or what car those times were. So definitely good to have that data. And again, like I said, when you're done with this, you can go home, you know, sync up the information and not have to deal with having another device in your car or, you know, in your race car, whatever the case may be. You can just handle that at a later time and just focus on what you're driving and focus on the predictive to make sure you're doing better than the last time. So very easy, just a matter of pushing that little guy. We can see it's gonna turn on, and we're gonna go into the drag meter. And let's see, we're gonna leave it in drive for this, and speed. And again, you can actually customize all these different, you know, all these different values. We'll do 0 to 30, 0 to 60, just to see, you know, what we can get out of. And you can see we also have a timer option. So, wow, that was a really bad reaction on my end. But that's it. Like that was the drag, and you guys can see it's nice and bright on the screen. And yeah, now this road that I'm on, it's not flat, so it does have, you know, it does elevate and go, you know, goes up and goes down as well. But that's perfectly fine because there is a built-in a sensor that recognizes that, and you are able to correct for that amount. It's crazy. It's all in this one little box. It's definitely a great little device. Now let's go ahead and see if we can do another run. Now I just pressed it so we get out of it, and it doesn't record any data because it's actively recording any information you're doing. So I just have it at that. And again, you can switch over to the different modes that you want. Let's see if we can, we'll run this one next. So it's gonna be the 0 to 100 kilometers, 0 to 60, which is very similar, 400 feet, and then quarter mile. And again, you can change those values of what you want them to be. Do you want them to be, 0 to 30, 0 to 60? So I was playing around with it, and I just kind of have it at that. Nothing, I haven't really dived deep into setting it up for it, but I will. And the other thing as well is there is a Facebook group. Man, do I love Facebook groups, because it's other people with the same device, and get tips and tricks, and it'll help you out and see how others are setting up their devices. So it's definitely a great community of users of the RaceBox. So once you go ahead and get your RaceBox, make sure you join that Facebook group so that you can have help and have other buddies that are in the same world as you. It's more race friends are good friends, right? So let's go ahead and we will set it, and now another thing is that if it doesn't sense movement, it will actually automatically turn off. So you can change that to avoid it from turning off, but it's good. The battery life was also great. So now I'm gonna go ahead and set it to custom, and you can leave it at that and start moving, and it will predict that, okay, you started moving, or you can press it to start and get used to your, okay, 0.5 reaction time. Not bad. Okay, so I lifted off a little bit there, but that's what I wanted to show you, that you have that function of kind of getting yourself used to or trained to the light, which was actually pretty good. 0.5 reaction time isn't too bad. Let's go ahead and we'll come back out of that, and we'll probably do one more final round. I did get a hang of it. Now I know how the Alpha likes to be launched, because this doesn't unfortunately have launch control, but it does have a dynamic mode, and loading it up with loading up the turbo will get you some power off the line. Now I'm excited to work with the RaceBox team, because I am going to be putting a discount code for the RaceBox in our description. So not only do we get to have fun with this device and this great team and this community, but we want you to be part of the community. So we will be putting that description, that link at the bottom in the description with our code, so you guys can get one yourself and save a little money for a little bit of race gas. That's always a good thing. But again, we definitely recommend that you do that, just so that it helps us out, it helps them out, and again, we all want to have a great racing community together. The other thing as well is a lot of people have been asking for, now what's in the future for it. We're looking at the so a lot, you have this telemetry, but you don't have any inner video overlay. Just wait a bit. Just wait a bit. So I was talking to the guys at RaceBox, and they did say video overlay is coming. You guys know how important that is to me, being a YouTuber and reviewing it. So having the video overlay is definitely going to be awesome. Just a matter of slapping a GoPro, having this right next to it, do your laps, and you're good to go. You can have the overlay on it, and it's definitely going to be useful information. So I'm excited about that, so definitely stay tuned. And again, like I said, with the app, it's definitely great to have it to save all your information, even though it has onboard data as well. So again, do you like iPhone integration? Perfect, it has it. Do you not want to deal with that and just have it on there? Not a problem, you can. So it definitely has that. So let's go ahead and see if we can do this again. And we'll go ahead and activate it. Oh, I had a false start. Okay. Okay, yeah. So it tells me when I wasn't good. So we'll back up a little bit. But that's awesome. That's awesome. So it kind of gets you trained for that as well. So false start, you know, jump the gun, so to speak. Let me, okay. And we'll go ahead and not as fast of a reaction time. Not as fast of a reaction time, but I think I did better. I think I did better with this. But there you go, guys. Overall, it's definitely been a fun little tool to have. Get ready to see more in our reviews, because we're gonna try to incorporate this in our reviews to have some numbers. Granted, I wish our tracks were open so we can really push this out on the track. And what's great about it as well is it has different tracks, so you can actually put your different local tracks in this, as well as your own track. So it has major tracks like Circuit of the Americas, which we've programmed, but it also gives you the function of running a lap. And I would suggest do it at a moderate speed, nothing too jerky, and it will let you go ahead and lay out the track, so that way you can set different markers and have it, set different markers and have your times. So it's definitely a great little tool. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. It's a quick review, but I would recommend take a look at their YouTube channel. They have a lot of how-to on how to use the product itself. I just want to give you my emotional reaction to it, my review to it. I didn't want to go too much into nitty-gritty. Gave you some features, but definitely some functions, but definitely wanted to give you guys more of the feel and the great things that it has, the things that I liked a lot about the unit. So yeah, definitely check it out. Take a look at the link below in our description, and we hope you enjoy yours. Let us know if you like the RaceBox, and yeah, enjoy this review. And remember, guys, to find the right gear. See ya.